Thank you, Tesha. Right, Cape Town, finally here. Sanbonani, Molweni, I am Tshepo, Mochabang. So excited to be here today. So, I actually want to take you back a few years ago when I met a young attorney. And I had a meeting with him. He was starting his law firm, so he wanted to actually put some strategies in place. When I arrived at his office, he was actually quite busy on a call. And boy, I could tell that this is actually going to be a long call. He was actually dealing with a very, very demanding client. He said to me, you know what, this call's actually going to take longer. Can you please just wait for me in my office? I did. And while I waited, in his office, I could see stacks and stacks of files piling up from the floor. I look on the other side, and again, there's stacks and stacks of files piling up from the floor with sticky notes on top of them, and papers, and elastic. It was chaotic. Finally, we got time to actually sit and actually talk about his firm. And at that moment, I realized his passion and actually how he actually wants to actually put systems in place within his firm. I gave him some friendly but very firm advice. I said, listen, you need to get a proper billing system. These sticky notes, it's not going to be sustainable. And one thing about a lawyer, if you don't invoice your client, you don't get paid. Then I realized, actually, it needs to be more there. You also need to outsource your bookkeeping. Let me tell you something. You studied law. You don't need to actually worry about tax codes and things. Get someone else to do it for you. To his credit, he actually didn't push back. He listened, and we were actually able to actually put these systems in place for him. We got a proper billing system for his firm, and we actually got an accounting business that actually came in to actually help him with his business. Tell you, it's been 8 years, and I went to that law firm. That chaos is no longer there. It's actually a well-run office now with business partners, processes in place, and business, his accounting systems that actually function. They are actually not doing a lot of admin now, but there's actually quite a number of lawyering that's actually happening in that business. I actually want to talk to you about a moment when you started your law firm. How exciting it was. However, you were also anxious because at that moment you also realized that it's just you. You don't have a secretary, you don't have a finance team, you don't have a marketing team, you don't have an IT, it's just you, your laptop, your clients, and your phone. But you started because you actually realize all these items are actually, strategies that you actually will take your business to the next level. For some time now, we've been hearing these words. We need to automate, we need to streamline, we need to work from anywhere, everything needs to be on the cloud. But actually, I find that some people don't know what it means for you. What does it mean for you to automate? What does it mean for me to streamline? But today, we're actually going to talk about some smart strategies, things that you actually can take back to your firm that you can use. I'm not going to talk about the theory of business optimization, but we're going to try and actually unpack some of the nuggets that I packed for today. As we all know, we work with very, very demanding clients. Our clients are demanding, they want solutions right now. Your clients want feedback right now. We all know if your office is not actually automated or streamlined and you're not able to give your client proper feedback, they find another law firm that can do it for them. They're not going to sit and wait for you to try and automate your office and you don't have systems in place to actually be that law firm that your client wants. They find someone else to do it. I met a lawyer and then he says, Tshepo, clients just want to talk to me. They don't want to talk to your secretary. They don't want to talk to your candidate attorney. They want solutions from you. And those are kind of clients that we're dealing with these days. Then over and above that, there's that growing compliance burden that while you're trying to meet all these expectations, Compliance has become risk. And now we need to understand that if you don't comply, you also get in trouble with the LPC. So how do you make it all work? How do you make it all come together? Again, you are making money, but you're also spending money. Some time ago, I was actually listening to a podcast. And in this interview, they were actually interviewing a very successful businessman. And they asked him a question and said, how did you make it all work? How did you make it become so successful in your business? And he actually gave such a very simple answer. He then said, I actually have put processes within my business that actually makes my business to function without me being there. Wow. He also added, he actually says, in actual fact, every business should have a process. If you go out now to order coffee at a drive-thru, you stop at the first window to order your coffee, then you move to the next window to pay for your coffee. The last window, you pick up your coffee. And then he says, that's a process. So my question to you is, have you actually put processes in place that allows you to come and be with us today? Is your business functioning while you're sitting with us? I was actually wowed by his answer because I thought, like, he's not even an attorney, but he's actually speaking about a process. Then it made me realize something. What could a process look like in a law firm? So if you actually at a reception area, there's also a process in there. You can onboard your client, can schedule a consultation, send out an engagement letter, and setting up your client in your billing system. That's a process. And that already just happened within the reception area. So I'll ask you again, how many other processes have you put in place in your other departments? In your litigation department, your conveyancing, your later state, is there a process? Does your staff know what to do? So, I've seen, in all the years that I've worked with attorneys, that attorneys don't pay attention to that. And guess who ends up putting the process within this department? Your secretaries. Because they need to function. They get things done. But one day she might leave. She might just get sick and not be able to work with you anymore. And guess what? The next person that comes in to work there will create their own process. And that's how it generally runs. So today I really want to encourage you to actually go back and actually look at what processes that actually allows your staff to be more efficient within that department. So what is the real dilemma here? How do you do it? How do you make it work? How do you stay lucrative in this business? We all know the legal industry is under increasing pressures. How do you retain top talent? How do you manage to pay proper increases to your staff? It actually starts with rethinking how you work. Let me remind you, as a legal expert, you're not just a lawyer. You're a leader. You're an innovator. People come to you for solutions. So I just want to say that, how do you make it work? By actually making sure there's proper workflows that you have actually implemented. Use legal tech systems that actually can leverage your data as well. My clicky is not moving with me, but let me see. So I've put together some smart strategies that I've seen some of my clients that have implemented within their law firms. Yes, there's more. These are the ones that I've seen. I've seen a growth with some of my clients that have actually implemented a retainer model. With a retainer model, there's a positive to it as well because you actually do get income on slower periods. When you're on holiday, you still get income, you know. And also one thing about having a retainer model is just building that trust with your client. Your client wants to actually, when they call you, you already understand their business. They don't need to start from scratch and make them understand all the other things. When they call you, you give them a solution. That leverages on that trust. Cost recovery. I don't know how many of you remember to bill for your copies, your telephone calls, your travel. Do Do you remember? Let me remind you, if you don't bill for your cost recovery, you're actually losing a lot of money, a lot of money. And you're really quite fortunate today because we've got ZebraWorks that actually can help you with that as well today. Cloud computing. You know, I went to a law firm, a very nice law firm the other day, and they also invited me to actually help them to actually put systems in place for their firm. And when I got there, I can hear all these other possibilities and everything that they actually want to actually implement. And I actually asked them, I'm sorry, how are you guys managing your time? And they draw me a very nice picture and they said, no, we all sit at our desk every Friday, we sit with our Excel spreadsheet, then we add our time, and then we then hand it over to Susie, who will then eventually log it for us on a system. And then I thought, in 2025, you guys still use an Excel spreadsheet to manage your time? So Susie, how does that make you feel? And obviously she was not happy because now she has to sit and wait for people to actually hand over this, which then takes her like 3 to 5 days to actually send out invoices. And I thought to myself, you guys are not being efficient, but that's why we are here, to actually help you guys to streamline, you can work better as well. Office automation. We all know that when you actually leverage your tech and you use the right system, it'll actually help you. Because what does that mean? If you use the right system, you can work from anywhere. We've got systems like Encino that you can use for KYC, for looking for your files, managing your fees, invoicing, you can use AJS, and so much more. Outcome-based billing. So I'm going to use an MOI here. If you're going to actually charge your client $50,000 for MOI, just bill them the $50,000. Your client really doesn't care how much it actually took you to put that together. They just want results. And I see a lot of the law firms are already using the outcome-based billing when it comes to their conveyancing systems as well. When the bond is registered, they just invoice the client. So, as I've mentioned earlier, these are some of the systems that are actually a plug-in. So with Encino, it's KYC, plugs into your accounting system, LexisNexis, Express Docs to automate your document, guys. You don't have to sit and draft everything from scratch anymore. There's systems that are there that can help you with that. AJS, Flow, but today I just want to speak more about smart business accountants. Who are they? What do they do? Highly skilled, experienced legal bookkeepers, ensuring compliance. They process your creditors. They manage your month end and also prepare your audit preparation and your fidelity fund applications. These are people that you can actually add to your business and actually, get them to help you with your business. Lawyers forget that as much as you're running a law firm, you're actually running a business. So get partners that are actually skilled to actually help you with your legal bookkeeping as well. I want to leave you with one thing today. Success isn't about doing everything yourself. It's about knowing what to focus on and what to delegate. Thank you.